Now, in the last couple of hours, West Linsey District Council has lost its opening round of a High Court fight to stop asylum seekers being housed at RAF Scampton near Lincoln. The council has asked a judge to impose an interim injunction preventing the Home Office moving materials, equipment or people onto the station. Ministers want to use the site for up to 2,000 people.
All the time that we haven't got an injunction and they can just carry on doing stuff, it just creates more anxiety amongst the community. We can see the workmen and things that are happening on the camp all the time. In the last 9 weeks, it's been constant. So it just creates more anxiety when people can see that sort of stuff's happening on the camp.
Well, the local MP, the MP for Gainsborough, Sir Edward Lee, is joining me now. Sir Edward, good evening. I mean, this is not a surprise tonight. Is it over now?
Oh, I don't think it's over at all. I think we achieved a lot. Actually, I went to the High Court all this morning before rushing back to a statement on rail through Market Raisin. And I listened to a lot of the arguments. I think the council has achieved a great deal. I mean, the judicial review will still go on. And apparently we've got an undertaking that might will happen for July the 3rd. But apparently we also found out that actually civil servants recommended to ministers way back in February that Scampton was not an appropriate site. And we also had a recognition by the court that this was a site of national importance. So I don't think that it's a surprising decision. And I think the fight continues. Everything to play for.
Is it an emergency? I mean, because that's one of the crucial things that's come out of this. I mean, is it an emergency?
Well, that was one of the arguments we were using in court today. This is clearly not an emergency. The government should only use emergency powers in an emergency. This migration crisis has been going on for months or years.
But many people watching...
And this site might well be used for another 2 or 3 years. So I think that the powers the government are using are inappropriate.
But many people watching will say, it is an emergency. We're paying £6 million a day in hotel bills, and that needs to come down, and this would help it come down.
Yes, but the argument that we've made is that, first of all, it's not particularly good for the welfare of migrants to have 2,000 cooped in one site together. It's much better for their welfare that they're distributed around the country. But the main argument we're making is not on overall policy on how you deal with migration. Our argument is that this is a site of national importance, the home of the damn buses and the red arrows. There's £300 million worth of investment that might be lost, and all for the sake of the Home Office using a bit of hard standing and 3 decaying H blocks. So always will come out in the judicial review. So I don't think that this decision today is unexpected or particularly bad news, or will stop our legal battle.
OK, final question. Do we have to accept that the £300 million heritage scheme now is dead in the water?
Well, I very much hope not. Obviously, our case today and our judicial review is it does put it out under risk. I mean, as I was listening, I heard that incredibly, in this sort of 800-acre site, the Home Office is going to only use 15%. So, but apparently that still scuppers it because it's right in the centre. Okay. But these are arguments that we've got to use under judicial review. This is a perverse decision by the Home Office, which civil servants themselves advise ministers was not the right way of proceeding. There's everything to play for.
OK. Sir Edward Lee, good to have you on the programme, as always. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Peter.
Well, just to say that West Linsey District Council have told us that they are disappointed with the outcome of today's hearing, but that it was only the interim hearing ahead of a full judicial review. They will continue to review their legal options. We've asked the Home Office for a comment tonight, but have yet to hear back. And I can tell from messages I've been getting over the last hour or so, there's still a huge amount of interest in this story. We've followed it from the start, and we will continue to do so.